So today we're continuing with algebra and we are starting with factorization. So the first thing we're going to talk about is common factors. Okay, let's look at my little drawing over here. Okay, so this is an algebraic expression. Okay, it contains variables, coefficients. In this case, there is no constant, exponents, and all of that. Okay, we call these terms. So collectively, this 3a squared b is called the term, and 4ab squared is called the term. Remember, terms are separated by what? Remind me in the chat. Terms are separated by what? Let's hear. Is Araldino answering me? Yes, you may unmute. Let's hear if you have an answer for me.
Plus and minus.
Plus and minus. So there's one plus here. So in this expression, we have how many terms? 2 terms. Okay. So this is the separation. That's our separation. So we have 2 terms. Now, guys, let's talk about factors when we're talking about normal numbers. Give me the factors of 12. What are the factors of 12? Yes. Zeketelo or zeketela. Yes, it's pluses or minuses that separate. Tell me, what are the factors of 12? Tando also said it. Usupiles also said it. Ooh, I love it. Thank you, Amahle, but you missed one. You missed one. Factors of 12. There we go, 6. So the factors of 12 would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, and 12. So guys, factors are the numbers you multiply by each other to get the number you want. What I mean is, to get 12, we have to say 1 times 12, right? 2 times 6, 3 times 4. That's easy enough. That works the same way with expressions and algebra, okay? 3a squared b actually means 3 times a times a times b, right? And then 4ab squared means 4 times a times b times b. In this case, we just cannot simplify it, okay? No, it's multiplied, Chichi. So we multiply them by each other. I'm not sure what you're thinking of, Chichi, but Chichi, you could be thinking if you divide 12 by its factors, there will be no remainder. Maybe you're thinking about it the other way around. I think that could be it. But remember, when you multiply them together, you get the product that you want. So guys, if we want the common factor of an algebraic expression, it means exactly that, okay? So between these two, between 3 and 4, can we find a common factor between 3 and 4? What is there a common factor between 3 and 4? Let's think about it. Anyone have an answer? No? Jaden's hand is up. Yes, Jaden, not multiple, Amahle, factor.
No,
Hi,
one.
Jaden.
I know.
Do you have an answer for me?
Isn't it 1?
Okay, but not 1, because then everything has a common factor. Okay, but it's fine, Jaden. I get where you're coming from. Remember, guys, we're looking for a common factor that is not 1. Okay, and I just got a nice message. Someone said, please explain that again for me, and that is okay. Okay, that is okay. So let me go back, guys. You need to get this for us to understand what finding common factors is. So guys, we listed the factors of 12. Let's list the factors of 20. Let's list the factors of 20. Hi, Novuyo. We are listing factors. What are the factors of 20? Anyone help us? There we go. Thanks, Saban. Thanks, Akitelo. So it's 1, 2, 4, 5, 10, and 20. So if I said to you, what are the common factors between, not the highest, just in general, the common factors between 12 and 20? We hate including 1, guys, because everything has a factor of 1, so we don't include it. But here we have a 2 on both of them. We have a 4 on both of them, and that would be about it, right? So that is what we are looking for in algebraic expressions and as well, in algebraic terms, okay? Here I said, if you have 3a squared b, for instance, guys, if you have 2x, this is the same as 2 times x, okay? So 3a squared b has these factors, okay? 3, a, and a b. Those are factors of 3a squared b. Whereas with 4ab squared, the factors are 4a, b, and b. So if I ask you, what are the common factors between 3a squared b, which is this term on the left, and 4a squared b? What would you say the common factors between those two are? I need you guys to first be able to identify them. Yes, Novoyo.
Oh, ma'am, I don't ma'am have an answer, but ma'am, I have a question.
Okay.
Ma'am, I hope you won't take this as a stupid question, ma'am, but ma'am, can you explain what the difference is between factors and multiples?
Novoyo, factors are the ones you multiply to get your answer, okay? What is 1 times 12?
1 times 12, ma'am, it's 12.
2 times 6?
It's 12.
Yes, so factors are the numbers that you can multiply this with and you will not get a remainder. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Whereas multiples are the answers you get when you multiply that by any natural number or any integer. For instance, multiples of 12 would be 1 times 12. What's 1 times 12?
Ma'am, it's 12.
2 times 12.
2 times 12. Ma'am, it's 24.
24. Do you see where I'm going with this? 36, 48. So look at the difference between factors and multiples. So factors are you counting up in that number. So if I say multiples of 2, you are counting up in 2. So it's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Whereas factors of 2 are, what can I divide 2 by and not get a remainder? And that would only be 2 and 1. You see?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand now?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Wonderful. You're welcome. Yes, guys. Yes, so we have 1A there, 1A there, and a B there, and a B there. So the common factor between these two would be A, B. Okay. Now that we know how to identify them, let me show you what we're going to do after we identify them. Let's look at 20 minus 2A. We've learned how to identify common factors now. 20 minus 2a. Remember, you have to look at the numbers and the variables. So what do 20 and 2a have in common? What can I divide 20 and 2a by? Yes, Tando, you cannot divide 2 by 10. Yes, guys, so you can divide 20 by 2 and you can divide 2 by 2. Senzo, are you going to do this one with me? Hi, Senzo. Senzo, you may unmute.
Oh, hi, ma'am.
Hello.
Oh, ma'am, never mind. I'm not going to answer anymore.
Okay. Don't you want to try this with me, Senzo? I promise you it'll be easy. Just try it with me.
Okay, ma'am, what was the question, ma'am?
So I said, what number can go into 20 and into 2?
And 2. 2.
2. Beautiful. There we go. 2. Okay. So
Yes,
Senzo,
ma'am.
after you write down your common factor, inside the bracket, you're going to write down what's left after you remove it. meaning you're going to divide both your terms by that number. That means you're going to say 20 divided by 2 minus 2a divided by 2. So tell me, Senzo, what's 20 divided by 2?
It's 10, ma'am.
It's 10 minus. Now I have a 2a divided by 2. What happens to these 2's, Senzo? 2 goes into itself how many times?
1 time, ma'am.
At the bottom and at the top. So what's left?
What's left how, ma'am?
So if I divided 2 by 2 here, remember we had a 2a divided by 2. But the 2's cancel each other, isn't it? So what's left?
The a, ma'am. The variable.
A, yeah. And Senzo, you have successfully factorized our first bracket. Beautiful. Thanks for not running away.
Yes, ma'am.
Beautiful. Okay. Okay, guys. How did we feel about that? How did we feel about that? I think I should write like mini steps maybe at this on the side here. So first step is you find the common factor. So we're gonna find a common factor. And then you're going to divide all terms by that common factor. Okay, and it is as easy as that. Or you can just multiply without them. Ma'am, do you have to put the brackets? Yes, you do have to put the brackets, Odenda. If you do not put brackets, you are telling me that you're only multiplying 10 by 2, which is not true. We want to multiply both terms by 2. Okay, so you have to put the brackets. I love that question. Yes, it is a must. You must know where. Did you see why? Were you looking when I explained? No. The common factor is the 2. Guys, look carefully. The common factor is the 2. We're looking at a common factor between 20 and 2a. So the common factor is the 2. We're not talking about multiples, guys. We're talking about factors. All right? Yes, that is the final answer. You cannot do anything else besides that. Zeketela, do you have an answer, a question?
Hello, ma'am.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm well, and you?
I'm good. Also, can I do the next one, please?
Yes. Oh, that's beautiful. Okay, what's our common factor in the next one?
8.
Okay, let me move this one quickly for us. Okay, our common factor is 8. So we're gonna take 8 out. We're gonna factor it out. Then what do we do?
And then we say we put the brackets, and then it's gonna be a to make 8a, and then plus 24 divided by 8 is gonna be 3. B.
Beautiful, Zeketela. That was brilliant.
It's actually Zeketelo.
Okay, I was wondering because I said Zeketelo, but then I saw the spelling and I was like, why is it spelled with the A? But thank you for clarifying, Zeketelo. I love it. That was beautiful. Okay, guys, it's that easy. Okay, for all of you who are like, where did she get all of that? She said she factored out 8, excuse me. And then she said 8a divided by 8 plus 24b divided by 8. Remember, you divide both of them by your factor that you took out. 8 and 8 will cancel out, so it's going to be a left, plus 8 is once, goes into itself once and into 24 3 times, so what's left there is 3b, and that's where we get our answer. Okay, brilliant. How are we feeling about this? How are we feeling about this? Before I complicate our lives, how are we feeling about this? Thumbs up, thumbs down. In the reactions, you can put your thumbs up or thumbs down as well. I see them. Okay, I see thumbs up so far. Yes, Otenda. The factor is the number that you can divide both of them by without having a remainder. What do they both have? Think of it like that. What do both my terms have? Like what can I divide both my terms by? Can divide both of them by 2. You see? Masase?
Hi, Mom. Yes, that's my name.
There we go. Where did I lose you?
So, ma'am, I want to ask a question over here. So, ma'am, when we when we get this answer 2 bracket 10 minus a bracket, when we calculate that, is it supposed to take us back? Because I'm not really sure on how
Yes.
the
It's supposed to
processing
take
is,
us
like
back.
how you sum it out.
So look here. This is the distributive law, right? You know how it works?
Yes, ma'am.
So it would be 2 times 10, which is how much?
Which is 20.
Minus 2 times a, which is? 2a.
2a. But ma'am, the thing is like this sum is easy me, but like with harder sums, it's like a little like confusing, especially with the variables and stuff like that. So like
Okay, we're
I
gonna
don't
get
really
there
get
just now.
it, even though it's this easy for now.
Okay, just hold on. We're gonna go into the harder ones just now. Okay.
Okay, yes, ma'am.
All right. Let's hear what Chi-Chi has to say. Chi-Chi.
Hello, ma'am.
Hello.
How are you doing?
I'm good, and you?
Also good. Ma'am, I just want to ask a question. By the first one, we said 20 minus 2a. Do we have to go according to like the common difference? Like if we added like the common difference of 20, which is 4, will we still be right? Or we have to go through, or we have to like use the same number as the common difference for 20?
You do not have to use the same factor, but there is only one common factor between 20 and 2. 20 and 2 don't have, but for instance, Chichi, you see the second one, 8 and 24.
Yes, ma'am.
You could have used, let's say 4, right? They also have a common factor of 4.
Yes, ma'am.
But then after you divide both of them by 4, you would have seen they still have another common factor. Then you have to divide again. So yes, you have to look for the highest common factor. Do you see that?
Yes, ma'am.
So it won't be wrong if you use a different common factor, but
would
yes,
it be
you have to
easy
use
if
the
I just
highest.
use the
Yes,
same one?
otherwise you have to keep doing the process until you don't have a common factor anymore.
Okay.
It's like when you're dividing fractions, Chichi. When you have, for instance, when you have 20 over 100, you know 20 goes into 100, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So you just divide both of them by 20. But if you did 5, then you would just have to keep doing 5 until you get to the most simplest one.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. This method is called taking out a common factor. Guys, taking out a common factor. Okay, let's do the next one. Let's see if Oyama wants to do the next one with me or has a question. Hi, Oyama. Okay, Oyama is quiet. Okay, Ka, do you have a question?
Ma'am. Mama was asking if I could do the next sum.
Let's do it. Let's do it. What's our common factor?
It's 2, ma'am.
There we go. And then?
You put the brackets. 4a divided by 2. Plus 14 divided by 2.
Divided by 2. Okay, take us home. What's our final answer?
It's 2a plus 7.
Beautiful. That was beautiful. I love it, guys. I love it. Okay, guys. So you literally just find a common factor and then you divide all your terms in the brackets with that common factor, or all your terms in the algebraic expression. Okay. Let's see in the chat. Kumani, you need to raise your hand so that I know what you're not getting. Okay. You need to raise your hand so that I know what you're not getting. What's confusing, guys? You need specific questions. Where did I lose you? Where am I not? Where am I losing everyone? Raise your hand and then ask a question so that we can help you. Okay. I think so far everyone is sort of getting it. Can you see it? Let's hear can you see it? The rest of you do the one that's on the board now. 5a plus 5a squared. Can you see it?
Ma'am, I would like to ask how we find the common factor. I understand the whole thing, ma'am, but I don't understand how we find the common factor.
The same way you do in fractions, can you see it? If I say to you, you have a fraction of 5 over 15, and I say to you, simplify it. How do you simplify it?
How do I simplify it? Do I say, ma'am, 1 over 10?
Yeah, no, it's not 1 over 10. You have to find a common factor. So what number can you divide 5 and 15 by?
It's 5.
It's 5. So then you're going to divide 5 by 5, and you're going to be left with 1. And you're going to divide 15 by 5, and you're going to be left with 3. Do you see that?
Yes, ma'am, I understand. Thank you, ma'am.
There we go. You're welcome. See, guys, you need to ask specific questions. Okay, someone wants to answer? Hand up. There we go. Hello. Hello.
Hi, ma'am. I'm back.
Let's hear what you have.
My answer is A bracket 5a plus 1.
And that would be correct. Beautiful. You get it now.
Thank you.
You see,
Yes, ma'am, I get it.
we're getting somewhere, guys. We're getting somewhere. I think with variables, it's easier because you just look at what they both have, guys. They both have an A. We can swap these around because we are adding inside the bracket, but be careful of that. Okay. So they both have an A. So you factor the A out. Then you're going to be left with A divided by A plus 5a squared divided by A. A divided by A vanishes. That's where the 1 comes from because you're dividing by 1. And then if you have 2 A's, laws of exponents, we are dividing. We're going to say 2 minus 1, which is our exponent at the bottom. Yes, Oyama, beautiful. Okay, let's see. Let's try another one. Okay, let's try. Do not freak out. Just check. What do they have in common numbers-wise? Then you say, what do they have in common variables-wise? If you have to do it in more than one step, then do it. Okay, we are not in a rush. Is there anyone who wants to do this one with me? Anyone? I see hands that are still up, but I'm not sure if those hands were up before or what. Or Tenda, I see your hand just went up.
Izabango X, Y. But how if you have picture around him? So Izabango
If
X,
there's more than
Y.
one person talking, hold on. Remember to mute yourself when you're done, guys. Or Tenda, are you there? Okay, we can't hear you, Otenda. Okay, that's okay. Okay, Ka, do you want to try this one with me?
Ma'am, I don't think you can because they are not like terms.
We're not adding them, remember? Like terms are only for adding. We're looking for common factors here. So let's look at it, okay? Let's look at the numbers first. 25 and 75. Is there a number that you can divide both 25 and 75 by?
25, ma'am.
25, beautiful. So we have a common factor between the numbers. Let's look at the variables. What do they both have?
X and Y.
They both have an X and they both have a Y. Okay, now let's go and divide. X, Y squared divided by 25xy plus 25xy divided by 25xy. Okay, let's deal with the numbers. Remember to rewrite your common factor that you factored out, guys. Don't forget about it, okay? So, what is 75 divided by 25, Omeka?
It's 3.
3. So we've dealt with the numbers. Let's deal with the variables. We had 1x, we had 1x. They divide into each other. What's left?
It's the Y's.
It's the y's. So the x's are gone, right? Because it's x divided by x, it's gone. So y squared divided by y, what's left?
It's Y.
Just y. Thank you. Then you say plus. 25 divided by 25.
It's 1, ma'am.
It's 1, it's gone. And then you have xy divided by xy.
They cancel out.
They cancel out. So what's left here? What was I write here?
1 XY. Oh, XY.
Just 1. Remember the xy's also divided out into each other. And you had 1's left. Beautiful. Do you see?
Yes, ma'am.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. There is no shorter method, guys. You guys just have to learn this. There is no shorter method. I promise you. You guys just have to learn this. Okay, I'm going to put everyone's hand down. If you have a question, raise your hand now. If you have a question and you're confused, raise your hand. Chichi, let's hear.
Hello, ma'am.
Hello.
I just want to ask a quick question by a plus 5, a to the power of 2.
Okay.
Since a doesn't have a number, do we just put a in and then continue with the with the equation?
Yes, ma'am. Do you see that's what we did?
Yes, ma'am. So if I get like a question in my test and then I see that the variable doesn't have any number, I just put in the a, x, or whatever letter that's in there and then continue with the.
Yes.
Okay.
Then you do it exactly how we've been doing it.
Okay,
And then
ma'am.
if you divide it by itself, that's where the 1 comes from. Do you see?
Yes,
So it's
ma'am.
going to be a divided by a. So you're just going to be left over.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome. Novoyo?
Hello, ma'am.
Hello.
Ma'am, my question, ma'am, is not about the ma'am. It's not related to the lesson or anything, ma'am. But ma'am, ma'am, when are we going to do ma'am constant difference and constant ma'am number patterns without a constant difference, not a constant ratio?
Oh, we already did that in number patterns. We put them, we scattered them, remember? Those challenging patterns that we were doing? We did, Chi-Chi. So go look at the number patterns videos, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
There we go.
Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome. Oh, there was someone with a question that they vanished. Okay. Can I explain the fifth sum? Okay, let me explain it again. So if we're looking for a common factor, guys, first you look at the numbers. Okay, in this case, we have a 25 and a 75. You're correct, 5 can go into both, but then you would have to divide again. Remember, we're looking for the highest common factor. Okay, so the highest common factor between 75 and 25 is 25. Because 25 can go into both. Cool, so we've dealt with the numbers. Then we go and deal with the variables. They both have 1x, 1x, and they both have 1y, 1y. The key word here, guys, is both. Okay, 75 has 2 y's, but we want what they have in common. So what they have in common is 1 y, not 2 of them, only 1. Okay, so then we take out our common factors. So there is our y, there's our 25, and there is our x. Then, remember, after you take out your common factor, you divide all the terms inside by that common factor. So then, 75 divided by 25, 25 goes into itself once and into 75 3 times. That's where the 3 there comes from. The x is cancelled out because it's x divided by x, they're gone. The y's, there were 2 y's, you are dividing by 1, there's only going to be 1 left. That's where that y comes from. Okay, then you say plus. 25 divided by 25, 25 goes into itself once, okay. X goes into itself once, again at the bottom once. Y goes into itself once, again at the bottom once. So you're left with 1 over 1, which is the same as just 1. Okay. Charlie, you find the highest common factor by knowing your factors and multiples. Between the numbers, you should know what goes into 25 and 75. And then with the variables, you check what do they both have. They both have an X. They both have a Y. So that is a common factor. Okay. Senzo Huhli. Let's hear what Senzo Huhli has to say. Hello.
Ma'am, I can't see the board. I'm new. I can't see the board.
You maybe have to zoom out or in. Maybe you're in a different view. Are you on your phone?
Yep.
Then minimize the chat and minimize the participants and maximize the board. That might be the problem. Okay.
Oh, okay. Yes, ma'am.
Cool. Okay, guys. I hope we are sort of getting this, but we have another concept that we have to do. So I am gonna move on quickly to the concept before we do our brain break. Guys, we'll do our brain break just now. We'll do our brain break just now. Now we are doing difference of 2 squares. It means exactly that, guys. If I say find the difference between something and something, what operation are we using? If I say, what is the difference between your distance there and my distance? What operation are we going to use? Let me know in the chat. Amatle says minus. Can you also? We are subtracting. No, Bonga, we are definitely not multiplying. We are subtracting. Okay. So difference of 2 squares means we are subtracting 2 squares. So look here. A squared minus b squared. So if you have something squared minus something squared, this is how you put them into factors. Okay, so let's check what's happening here. You're going to say we have a squared minus b squared. If you have this, you're going to make 2 brackets. Okay, right next to each other. In the first bracket, you take the base of the first one, which is a, minus the base of the second one, which is b. And in the second one, you say those same bases, a, b, but this time you add them. So one bracket has to be a minus b, the other one's going to be a plus b. The order in which you write the brackets does not matter, guys. It could be a plus b, a minus b. But the point is, you need to first find the bases, which is a and b. A and B, then you make 2 brackets. The one is a plus, the one is a minus. That is it. Okay, let me do this first one and show you how it works. Let me do this first one. We have x squared minus 4. We want these as 2 numbers that are squared. So I'm going to rewrite this as x squared minus 2 squared. Then making our brackets will be super easy, because then in my one bracket I'll have x minus 2 and the other bracket will be x plus 2, and you are finito. That is factorizing difference of 2 Squares. Who wants to try some with me? Amara, do you have a question?
Hello, ma'am.
Hello.
Ma'am, I wanted to say, isn't when it's in brackets, it's basically like conjugates?
Like conjugate pairs, basically, yes. Yes,
Okay.
you mean this
Thank
part,
you.
yes. That's exactly what it is. Okay. When it's much larger numbers, would it be possible to minus because I thought you were supposed to root the numbers, but that's what you are doing. You are rooting the numbers. Look whoever, is it? Lukuwe, Ndlovu. Look at this. What is this root of 4? Tell me what the root of 4 is. 2. Do you see that's what we're using in the brackets? 2 and 2. So that's exactly what we're doing. We are rooting them because we no longer write the exponents. So when they are inside the brackets, they are not square numbers anymore. They are the roots of those numbers. So you can either do it the way Lukuwe does it, where he says square root this number, or you just put them. I find it easier to do this because then you see exactly what goes inside the bracket. It's an X and it's a 2. Okay. Let's see. Okay, hands were up, but they've gone. Let's do the next one together. You're welcome. The next one says x squared minus 1. Do we have 2 square numbers? X squared, we know it's a square number. Is 1 a square number? Kanisila's hand went up. Let's see what Kanisila has. Nope, it went down again. Lomso, hello.
Hello, ma'am.
Do you have a question?
No, ma'am. Like I wanted to do the sum, ma'am.
Okay, let's do it together.
So ma'am, I think it's x to the power of 2 minus 1 in brackets, ma'am.
Minus 1, like that.
Yes, ma'am. In brackets, ma'am.
Like this.
Yes, ma'am. And then I think it's open bracket x to the power of 2 plus 1, ma'am.
Oh, remember you have to root them, Lomso. You remember? So when you put them in brackets, you no longer write the squares.
Oh.
Check here. X is in a bracket. It has been rooted. It no longer has a square. So try again. This time remember to root your X. So it's going to be?
Open bracket x, ma'am. Minus, is it 2, ma'am?
No, it's the root of 1.
Oh, the root of 1. Okay, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Minus 1. And the other bracket?
X minus 1 again, ma'am. Plus, sorry, ma'am.
There we go. Beautiful. So it's just the root of the both the numbers. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
And then you put a plus and you put a minus. Thank you very much, Lomso, for doing this for me.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, guys, we are not only rooting 4, we are rooting x as well. Check, x is no longer squared there. The square is gone. Okay? So we did root both numbers. Oyama, remember one of them has to be a plus, one of them has to be a minus. Don't worry about weird sounds. Okay? You get it, guys? So we are rooting both the numbers. Masase, do you have a question?
Ma'am, why do we say x minus 1 bracket x plus 1? Because when we say minus 1 plus 1, it's going to give us 0, isn't it?
But you remember you are multiplying here. Do you remember how to multiply 2 binomials?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, we are not subtracting, we are multiplying.
Yes, ma'am.
Here we go. Okay, let's do more, guys. Difference of 2 squares is one of the easier, less complicated topic. Remember, why did we change the 4 to a 2 in the first sum? Because we wanted to write it as something squared. Remember, 1 doesn't change. 1 doesn't change, so this is the same as x squared minus 1 squared. So we made it something with a base so that you know what goes inside the brackets. Okay, so once you successfully change a number to something squared, you know that that something, that base that you came with is what's going to go inside your brackets. Let me use a different color. Okay, if you just want to root it, guys, that's fine. But I write it like this so that you see that 2 goes in the brackets because that's the base. Okay, the same way this x is what went in the bracket. Okay, guys. Why is one the plus and the other one a minus? That is how you factorize difference of 2 squares, because when you multiply them back out, you need to get x squared minus 4. Let's multiply them back out, okay? You're going to say x times x, which is x squared. And then x times positive 2, so it's plus 2x. X times negative 2 minus 2x. And negative 2 times positive 2 is minus 4. These are like terms that are going to fall away because plus 2 minus 2 will give you 0 and you'll be left with x squared minus 4. That's why. Okay, you just factorize it like that. It's the rule. I hope I answered your question. So the bracket can be in any order, okay? The minus can be first or the plus can be first. Let us do more of them. 9 minus x squared. Tell me in the chat, guys, what are my 2 brackets? Let's practice, all of us. What are my 2 brackets? In the chat. Let's see. Bokang, as long as you get the correct answers, then the method that you use doesn't matter. Okay, teachers have different methods that they prefer. Okay, just tell me in the chat, guys, what is your answer? Novoyo?
Ma'am, can I try, ma'am?
Yes, you may.
Ma'am, since it's 9 minus x to the power of 2, ma'am, we're going to square root. We're going to square root 9, ma'am, which is going to be 3. Ma'am, so ma'am, the answer is going to be, ma'am, open bracket x plus 3, and close bracket, and then open bracket x 3 minus x.
Remember, we start with the 3, okay? So it's yes. 3 plus x and?
Wait. And then 3 minus x.
Beautiful, Nabuyo. That is correct. That is correct. Yes, guys, I see you in the chat. So we have rooted both of them. One bracket as a minus, one bracket as a plus. That's it. Okay, simple and straightforward. Andy, do you have a question?
Ma'am, I wanted to ask, if we started with 3 minus x and then followed by 3 plus x, is it okay?
No, that is incorrect because of the negative brackets. Remember, 2 minus 4 and 4 minus 2 don't mean the same thing, right? This is negative 2 and that is positive 2. Do you see its effects in your answer?
Yes, ma'am.
So you're not allowed to swap the order. So the roots that was, the square number that was first should be first when you root them. And the one that was second should be second when you root them. Don't swap them around. That is actually a brilliant question because I know a lot of people like swapping them around.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
There we go. Nobile, remember what I just said? You cannot swap them around because x minus 3 and 3 minus x do not mean the same thing. Kabelo, do you have a question? Okay, you're unmuted when you're ready. Senzobuhle, do you have a question?
Ma'am, I was saying, can I do the next sum? If there is
you haven't
one.
even seen it. I love your confidence. There we go.
Yo, ish, okay, ma'am.
Don't freak out. Listen carefully, okay? What is the
Yes.
root of 9? Let's start there.
It's 3, ma'am.
3. So it's going to be
Yes.
3 squared a squared minus, what is the root of 64?
It's 8, ma'am.
8 squared b squared. Now let's write this in a nice way, okay? Do you remember
Yes.
the distributive law of expression? As in, if I had an xy all squared, I give everyone the the squared. Do you remember that?
Yes, ma'am.
It works the other way around. So we can write this nicely as 3a all squared minus 8b all squared. You see,
Yes, ma'am.
now we know what goes inside our 2 brackets. So give me my 2 brackets.
Okay, so ma'am, you say open bracket 3a. Okay, open bracket 3a ish minus 8b. And then close bracket. And then open another bracket. And then 3a plus 8b.
Beautiful, Senzo. Can you see you can do it?
Yes, ma'am.
Wasn't that bad? Thank you for raising your hand. Okay, guys, what do you think of that? What do we think? That wasn't that bad. That wasn't that bad. No, that is taking out a common factor. That is a different method. Okay, we've done 2 methods today. So the first one that we've done is taking out a common factor. Okay, look at these numbers. They're not square numbers. 4 is a square number, but 14 is not a square number. 20 is not a square number. 2 is not a square number. So these are, if there's a common factor, factor it out. Then we did the second method, which was the difference of 2 squares. So you have to check that you have 2 square numbers that you are subtracting. Okay, and we actually did quite a lot, guys. We actually did quite a lot. You should be proud of yourselves.